So now we're going to talk about a literal queen who was a super badass. Let me tell you about her real quick. Liliuokalani was born on September 2nd, 1838, and would attend the Royal School for Hawaii's young nobility. This is a school where kings learn how to be kings and queens learn how to be queens. She had a big personality and was really loved by the people, which made her the obvious choice when it came time for her to take the throne. Remember earlier when I talked about how, this is kind of like Star Wars? Yeah. Well, Liliuokalani was legit a real-life Princess Leia, and she was going to take back her homeland. Her first order of business was to get rid of the bullshit, illegal bayonet constitution. So Liliuokalani proposed a new constitution that would have made several huge changes to the Hawaiian government. The most important change was restoring the power of final say in government to the Queen, including any political appointments. Plus, anybody living in Hawaii who was born in America or Europe would completely lose the right to vote, effectively giving voting power back to the Hawaiian people. Now, the Queen, she would travel on horseback around each island and speak with the native Hawaiians to gain support. And people loved her and loved all of her ideas. Almost all of the native population was eager to enact this new constitution so they could take back control of their land. But word of the Queen's intentions start to spread around the islands, and the wealthy plantation owners are like, oh shit, this woman means business. So before the Constitution can get off the ground, they organize a counterattack against Queen L in the form of a group called the Committee of Safety. On paper, this group was intended to keep the Hawaiian people safe from outside influence. But in reality, this committee's goal was to topple the monarchy and force Hawaii to become part of the United States. So, the committee very quickly gets the United States government involved, and they started claiming that the outside influence they were protecting Hawaii against was none other than the Queen and anybody who was loyal to her. They even convinced the United States to send armed mercenaries to Hawaii with orders to protect American lives and property. Nothing about protecting Hawaiian lives and property, just American, even though it's all the Hawaiians' land. There's like a constant theme throughout our history, is there not? Unfortunately, the committee's plan worked, and they forced the Queen to give all of her power over to them in 1893. She officially gave a speech on the steps of her palace, surrendering all of her power to a temporary government made up of her former cabinet members. This temporary government was known as the Republic of Hawaii, and they made their leader none other than Sanford B. Dole. But here's the thing. Liliuokalani only gave up her political power. She never gave up her title as head of the monarchy, and since she didn't give up her title, this meant that technically, legally, Hawaii was still a monarchy, and it is still even today. Now, this is important much later on, so pack it up and store it for later. But right now, as far as the Republic of Hawaii was concerned, they believed the Queen was out of the picture. So with the Queen gone, there was only one thing left to do: give Hawaii to the United States. But one super big thing to flag here. At this point, there is no formal legally binding agreement between the Hawaiians and these occupiers. So again, legally, the land still belonged to Hawaii and the Queen. And the Queen had inspired the people so much that for the Hawaiians, the fight wasn't over. Rumors of rebellion started to reach Sanford Dole, and over the course of the next year, there were a number of failed attacks against the Republic of Hawaii. Even though the attacks were thwarted. Isn't that fun? Thwarted. The Republic of Hawaii knew it had to shut the rebellion down. So they set up armed mercenaries all over the entire territory of Hawaii. There were literally soldiers on every corner of every street. Businesses were shut down. It was just full-blown martial law. Over the course of the next year, things started heating up more and more. The Native Hawaiians wanted their country back. And as a reminder, the Bayonet Constitution, the thing they were using to say they owned Hawaii now, was not legally binding. Whew! Plus, the people loved everything the Queen had proposed in her new constitution. Plus, every day, Sanford's government gave them a new reason to get angrier and angrier. So, the people of Hawaii gave Sanford Dole's government a taste of their own medicine and started planning the biggest rebellion against the Republic of Hawaii yet. Thwarted. The queen knew preparations were being made to overthrow the republic, but she refused to give up any information about the growing rebellion whenever any government official asked her. Many historians think the rebellion was being planned at the queen's new house, which is kind of just a testament of like how cool she was. If you want to see for yourself how awesome this woman was, the queen's diary is available to read for free online, and there's this whole cool bit where she theorizes what those meetings looked like. It's very cool. Highly recommend you check it out. Please do. Okay, so back to the story. So it's now January 6th, 1895. The Hawaiians were ready. It was time for the Republic to get the F out of there. So two groups began setting up at the edge of town, preparing for battle by unloading guns from unmarked crates. A third group was set to lead 100 men to the palace to overthrow the government, just waiting for the signal to go. Now, this was the moment everybody had been waiting for, but there was just one problem. There were spies in the group. Spies. I'm whispering because they're listening. It turns out a few of the people helping plan the rebellion were working for the Republic of Hawaii. Boo. So when the third group started marching to the palace, there were already Republic soldiers and mercenaries waiting in the streets, and as soon as they saw each other, a huge gunfight broke out. So we don't exactly know who fired first, but once the groups waiting all over the city of Honolulu heard gunfire, all hell broke loose. There was the main fight going down at the palace, and then there was like numerous other little fights going on throughout the island. Some of the fights that broke out lasted for days. At first, the rebellion actually managed to make the soldiers retreat, but then the Republic of Hawaii declared martial law again and pulled out the big guns. Suddenly, the streets were swarming with over 1,000 soldiers from the Republic of Hawaii. I mean, it didn't matter how many people believed in the queen and her cause, the rebels quickly became outnumbered. This fight lasted just under 2 weeks, and in the end, the Republic defeated the rebels. Boo! It didn't take long for the Republic of Hawaii to realize the queen had been involved with the rebellion. They arrested her and over 350 other native Hawaiians, charging them with treason. What makes this interesting is that it was characterized as a rebellion against a rebellion. It's kind of like a double negative, right? This basically means that they're standing up against people who stole shit from them. A group of natives fighting to save their own land, charged with treason against an illegal government they never wanted. Think about that. They weren't rebels. They were loyal Hawaiian nationals trying to stop occupiers and invaders. Hello? Great. So the queen was sentenced to 5 years of hard labor. But a few of the people involved were given death sentences. Now the queen was given a choice. The Republic told Liliuokalani she could save their lives if she just announced to the people of Hawaii that she was 100% no longer their queen. That is so fucked up. I mean, she had to pretty much say she's not in power, she doesn't have a title, nothing. And by doing this, she would completely abolish the monarchy. Liliuokalani said she would rather die than tell her people she wasn't their queen. Unfortunately, it didn't get that far because orders came from the United States telling the Republic to back down. So they changed the sentencing, and luckily nobody died. But the queen was still out of power, and now the Republic of Hawaii could focus on making Hawaii officially part of the United States. I've talked about this numerous times before, but the late 1800s were all about expanding and taking. The United States government was eager to gain more land, and it meant taking everything, like parts of Mexico, parts of Canada, Cuba, and of course, Hawaii. And at first, many Americans were on board with adding Hawaii to the United States, but the United States president at the time, Grover Cleveland, wasn't convinced Hawaii should join the United States. You see, back when Sanford was pushing to get Hawaii added as, United States territory, the president had created a special committee to try to figure out if the overthrow of the queen was even legal in the first place. And this committee wrote a report which sparked a whole lot of drama in Washington, D.C.